Hi, this is Partesai and Manos Berlakis, presenting case 223 for the Manual of Percutaneous Coronary Interventions. This is a case in which CTO intervention was performed in a patient who presented with STEMI. The patient was 65 years old with previous coronary bypass, who came in with severe chest pain and inferior ST segment elevation. He was taken to the cath lab. He did have a pronounced ST segments elevation. He did have a pressure of about 100 to 120 millimeters mercury. And this is the pictures from the left main, showing that the LAD is occluded. There is a good flow in the obtuse marginals. Distally, the vessel seems to be chronically occluded. On the cranial shot, we don't see the LAD, but the lima was patent. The right coronary artery is non-dominant. This is the vein graft to the obtuse marginal, and this is a vein graft he had to the right coronary artery, which is thrombotic and seems to be the culprit lesion. So how to approach this? We used a multi-purpose guide, and we were able to easily wire through the saphenous vein graft. And then, given the large amount of thrombus, we performed a thrombectomy with a Penumbra device. Unfortunately, despite using thrombectomy, there was not much improvement in flow and the ST segments remained elevated. We did repeat passes with a Penumbra device, going down all the way to the touchdown to the native coronary vessel, the left PDA. But again, despite multiple passes and despite retrieving a large amount of thrombus, there remained ST segment elevation without good restoration of flow. We advanced the Penumbra catheter distally, and we did an injection through the over-the-wire lumen, and we did see the left PDA that is going back, and then there is an occlusion in the distal circumflex. So given the failure we had to recanalize the saphenous vein graft, we decided to try to recanalize the native coronary artery. And to do that, we decided to use the retrograde approach. And at this point, we did have some improvement, but still we could not get the graft completely improved and get the flow okay. The patient did have ST segment elevation. He did develop bradycardia. He required vasopressors, but he remained relatively stable. So we used a Sasuke dual loop microcatheter along with a Sion black guide wire that went nicely retrograde in the circumflex, injection from the left, and in the meantime we obtained a second arterial access, and we see that the CTO is relatively short. We tried to cross retrogradely with a guy next to, but the wire went into the extra plug space. So after this, we went undergrade, took a microcatheter, and tried to advance an undergrade wiring using the retrograde wiring as a marker, but unfortunately we did not have much luck doing that either. So the next thing we did is we're planning to do reverse card, get a balloon over the undergrade wire. But in the meantime, we were able to advance the retrograde wire a little bit more through a different plane. And eventually the retrograde wire advanced well, and then we were able to get it into the undergrade guide extension we had inserted. So this was a retrograde through to true crossing using the Gaia next to guide wire, and we were fortunately able to advance the retrograde wire into the undergrade guide extension. It took quite a few attempts, but again, final success. After this, we externalized an R350. We did balloon angioplasty. At this point, we restored some undergrade flow, and the patient's STs came down, and the hemodynamics improved as well. So how to treat this? We do have a CTO. There's a bifurcation at the proximal cap. There's also a bifurcation at the distal cap. We plan to use a 3.0 by 30 millimeter drug-eluting stent, which improved the flow, but there remains some residual stenosis distally, and there was also some disease into the mid-right coronary artery with difficulty delivering equipment. But again, the patient's hemodynamics significantly improved. We did an intravascular ultrasound, and the stent seemed to be okay, but there was some disease more proximally. So what to do? We decided to treat the mid circumflex, and before doing that, there was a small obtuse marginal branch that was compromised, so we used a Sasuke dualumen to wire it and balloon it and make sure we had some flow. And then we placed a 3 by 18 millimeter drug-eluting stent into the mid circumflex. To our surprise, after doing this, if anything, the flow distally got worse. Trying to figure out how to approach this. So we ended up rewiring the obtuse marginal branch, doing some kissing balloon inflation to see if we have any issues with the outflow. And then that improved a little bit the undergrade flow. So at this stage, we tried to wire into the posterior descending artery to remove the externalized guide wire, which was challenging, but eventually we were able to achieve it. And then, if anything, things did not look good. We still have a pretty bad undergrade flow. So what has happened? And this is what happened. I think in the meantime, now it's been quite some time, and the patient has been on heparin, aggressive anticoagulation, and now the vein graft, although it still has a lot of thrombus, has some undergrade flow restored. And what we were seeing here is competitive flow, but once we put the balloon into the vein graft and kept it inflated, we have much better flow, although still the distal circumflex and third obtuse marginal seem to have a significant lesion. We decided to treat this using the culotte technique, drug-eluting stent into the third obtuse marginal, deployed. The vessel looks better, but pinched the distal circ. So we rewired it, kissing balloon, and then we did place another drug-eluting stent in a culotte fashion. The stent was deployed, and then we did rewiring and kissing balloon inflation. And this provided a nice result. We now have much better flow and no significant disease into this native coronary. Because of the competitive flow, we were worried that we were going to have potential thrombosis of the fresh stents we placed in the native coronaries, and that is why we occluded the vein graft using a 6.0 millimeter pod coil and more approximately a 60 centimeter packing coil, and that successfully occluded the graft. And this was the final result with nice flow down the circumflex. We were finishing up, and this was the angiogram before placing a closure device, but then there was an issue with the patient moving, and the sheath came back, and now the sheath is further back, and now we're seeing all the staining around the vessel wall, which was very concerning for perforation. And in the meantime, we had lost wire position. So we came up and over with a sheath from the left side, and we don't see any obvious perforation, so we took some pictures, and again, there was no issue with perforation, which was our concern, even though we did see some potential displacement of the bladder, but there was no perforation there. And then we had a DSA that also seemed to be okay. So manual pressure was held, hemostasis was achieved, and the patient left the cath lab with resolved ST segment elevations and good hemodynamics. Multiple lessons from this case. The first one is that STEMI due to vein graft occlusion can be challenging because there is a very large thrombus burden. In our case, we did multiple passes in the vein graft with a Penumbra device that aspirated a lot of thrombus, but unfortunately we could not restore good flow in the vein graft. So in cases like this, one can consider treating the native coronary artery. Of course, that presupposes good experience with complex PCI and CTO PCI in this particular case. In this case, we did have the occluded graft that served very nicely as a retrograde conduit to allow us to cross retrograde 2 through the CTO. Every bypass patient is very complex, and sure enough, we had a lot of things to do. We had to do a lot of preparation of the vessel, balloon, and place several stents, including a culotte bifurcation technique, to achieve a nice final result. We did use dual loop microcatheters for rewiring the side branches, and then at the end we had this issue with the sheath coming back, being essentially halfway in, halfway out, and that can be an issue, but fortunately there was no hematoma and good hemostasis was achieved. Thank you.